Hello and welcome to our podcast, Possibilists. And we are talking today with our guest, Jamie. Jamie is going to introduce himself just in a moment. But just to tell you that this is a very interesting episode because we're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about a healthy lifestyle, but also we're going to talk about marketing, AI, and entrepreneurship because Jamie is an expert on marketing, AI, and entrepreneurship. So, first of all, please, Jamie, welcome. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Paulo. Thanks so much for having me on here. We met previously, had a good connection, and hey, you said podcast, so I'm here. I'm loving it, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, Jamie. We are very honored to have you here. And first of all, also, can you please talk a bit with us about who is Jamie as a person, as a human being, and what do you do for a living?
Sure, yeah. My name is Jamie Buck. I kind of say my business is helping your business get more business. So it's all about marketing, as you said. It's about acquiring more leads, more prospects, more customers, etc. Now, I started out in the radio industry 25 years ago and was in that business for that length of time during COVID. I decided at the end of that, instead of going back to the radio gig because we were all working remote, I said, I'm going to go do my kind of digital marketing and audio production full time on the side. So I've been doing the entrepreneurship full time for about 2 years now.
Oh, that is incredible because when we first met, I said, "Oh, guy, oh, you have a great voice," because you've been working in radio, so your voice can tell us a bit about that. But okay, so the other day when we first met, we were talking about how we can build this kind of healthy lifestyle. And to
Yeah.
me, the lifestyle you have right now, it appeared to me very, very interesting. Can you tell us a bit about how is a regular day on your life? How is your life having this interesting mix of where you live, how you conduct your business operations?
Sure. So I'm actually based in the Cayman Islands, and I moved here officially after I left the radio gig 2 years ago. And now my wife was here for quite some time. So we had been back, during the time that we knew each other for about 6 or 7 years. But since I didn't, have to work at a actual physical location anymore, and I was out on my own, and the remote had stopped and whatnot. So I said, "Yeah, let's do it full time. Let's move to the Cayman Islands. This is great." I mean, I'm such a beach person, an outdoor person. I love going on hikes and adventures and that kind of stuff. And, I've been all the way across the United States where there are mountains. We actually just got back from LA last night. We were at a convention in Las Vegas, and my wife she loves mountains, right? She's from the Philippines and she just loves traveling and getting around and whatnot. So just being able to go out and explore and travel and also be able to consistently work from wherever you are is a total blessing to me. So they call it the laptop lifestyle. And I think that's great. You just need a Wi-Fi connection and a quiet place to work, and you're good to go. And then you can kind of build your day around that. So yeah, I think health is number one, and then wealth comes after that. But if you're not healthy, you're not going to be wealthy, right? You've got to have that consistency every single day to maintain your body, your mindset, and your overall well-being.
No, totally agree. I totally agree. That was one of the things we were kind of connected because obviously this podcast is related to a healthy lifestyle, but also with entrepreneurship and business because we cannot see ourselves like someone who are only people focused on work because
Yeah,
we are human beings living and we need to live, right?
for sure. Absolutely.
No, and for many of us, we grew up, I'm sorry, thinking some concepts related to success. And one concept of success, it has to do with accumulating some material outcomes. And we were thought about that, just kind of your KPIs and your next big thing that you're going to put on your curriculum and things related to that. But now, how do you define success in this lifestyle you have? And how is a healthy lifestyle related to it?
Yeah, I think success is really different for every single person. If you set goals and you can obtain those goals over that time, I think that's successful. Like right now, just related to the healthy aspect of it, we started a challenge where through my wife, who has got some retail shops here, and through her employees, I said, she's always looking for team building, right? And they're very successful in what they do because they do those different events, right? They bring everyone together, make sure there's no issues. Let's go ahead and work as a team. So that is her definition of success. And also working, providing lots of value for her customers, for her employees, and to give back to the community, right? So it's really a trifold of all that. That's very successful. So she, for me, is such an inspiration to do that, right? I work online, I don't have employees. She works retail and she's got employees, right? So we're on different spectrums, but we both help each other, in that relationship there. And I think really success comes down to, creating something for yourself that you want to go obtain and then going after that and getting there, achieving your goal, no matter what that is. So she said, what can we do for another team building event? I said, why don't you do like a walking challenge? I did that back when I was in radio and I came in second place, and it really pushed me to go do that. And this time I've taken it to a whole new level. 10,000 steps a day is pretty much the goal, right? You just got to get there. And I pushed it and I doubled it. So since March 1st, I've done over 20,000 steps a day. So that I just want to continue to do that throughout the month of March. And it's a time commitment for sure, right? I mean, it's about, depending on what you're doing, it's about 3 to 3.5 hours. If I really want to speed that up, I'll do some running in the morning, but I do my work actually at the treadmill, right? Got a little board there. I have my computer there. I'm working and doing that, but I'm also in the evening going outside and just, kind of uh, getting in touch with nature and whatnot, and getting outside and not, being on the computer. But if you can multitask, and you're able to do both, that's the only multitasking that I do well, is to be able to actually work and walk at the same time.
And that is amazing. I don't know for how many years I started practicing some kind of walking meetings. And it is amazing to be walking and talking to other people instead of
Yeah.
just sitting. Right now we are sitting, but because of the format of this episode, but it would be amazing also to have like a walking possibilist episode.
Yeah, for sure, and they've got stand-up desks, and this is I'm at a desk now where I'm sitting down, but when I do voiceover, I raise this and I stand, right? Because it gives you a little more mobility, a little more control, and it opens you up a little bit more. If I had a walking platform underneath this, I would be walking and working at the same time, kind of like I do with my wife who got the treadmill. And I was like, "Why are you getting a treadmill? We're here in the Cayman Islands. Let's just go walk outside." But it really does. I mean, it's amazing. You can really work and get stuff done, have conversations in your business while you're also, obtaining your health and maintaining that.
Oh, totally agree. And another aspect of this healthy lifestyle, it is that the place you live in the Cayman Islands. For example, why do you think it is important to find a place or environment that helps you keeping healthy and happy?
Yeah, super important. If you're in an area that is like you're in a dark room, the vibes are not going to be there. I also have another light here that's kind of like a bright sunshine light, and you can pop that on, and even if you're not out or it's rainy outside or it's cloudy, you can still have that same experience of the sun, the UV rays and whatnot, and it just brightens my mood. I don't know about other people, but I'm kind of like a sun person, so even if it's cold out, if the sun is out, I'm happier, right? The temperature is not really the concern, it's that sun. But when it's dark and gloomy, then I don't feel so good. So working in a dark environment, for at least me, the productivity is not there, right? If you're in an area, I'm downstairs in my quiet little studio area. If I go upstairs and I walk on the treadmill, my wife is there, watching the TV. She's talking to Filipino. It's kind of chaos. So I have to put my headphones on and kind of, you know, get through the clutter there. But just find a great environment, whether it's in your home or within a particular state or a country or wherever you're comfortable, because it's going to add to that success that you can have by just being in a clean, nice, pleasant environment. If you need to light candles or have, soft music in the background with no vocals, just anything to make you focus and get your stuff done.
Oh, totally. And the other day when we first talked, I was sharing with you that I am also living in a small town here in Mexico. And what I love about here is the sense of community. It is not
Yeah.
the same thing when you are in a big city, everyone is running, everyone is rushing, and everyone is just so focused on their goals to achieve for the quarter or for the week and so on. And but for us, when you're in a small place, people still say hi. For example, you can go on a small park and you feel this vibe of tranquility, of peace, and you really enjoy that. Do you have that same feeling there, right?
Yeah, no, I'm fairly new here. And this is, I was not born and raised in this country, and this country is British owned. I'm American. There are lots of Canadians here. There are Brits. There are Caymanians, locals. There are people from all over the world, that come here. So it's really I think variety is the spice of life. So when I walk along the beach and someone's like, it's say a wife and a husband and a couple kids and they want to get a picture, I'm like, here, let me grab your phone and take a nice picture in front of the sunset, etc. And I like meeting. I always ask, where are you from? How you enjoying Cayman Islands and that kind of stuff. So it's important to meet new people and to be getting into the community aspect. I'm going to be joining Toastmasters, which is like a speakers club that I just heard about. There's so much stuff going on. You just need to get into the community, hear about it, find out about it, and get more involved. So that's one thing I did not do the first year, and I really want to kind of ramp that up more and be more involved with, the locals and meet new people, because it really is, just a great experience to hear about their cultural experiences, where they come from. And that's where the travel aspect comes in, because we're not here 100% of the time. We're also traveling back to the US. Like I said, we are just on the West Coast at a convention. So I think it's important to get to know your neighbors and make friends wherever you are if you're new to that area as quickly as possible.
And related to creativity, for example, have you felt this kind of improvement in your creativity by having this different lifestyle?
Yeah, for sure. And I tell you, quite frankly, Paolo, when I grew up, I was already traveling at half a year old. My mom was born in Germany. So just about every other summer up until about 16, I was over in Germany for 3 to 4 weeks in the summertime. And it just opened up a whole aspect that if you don't travel, you're kind of like in your little area there, in your little bubble. But when you get out, you see how other people are just like you, or how they do things that may be a little different, and you learn from that. So I think it's super important. Everywhere you go, you'll kind of get an experience, and then that will be able to be applied to your work, to your personal relationships, to your professional network, etc.
Oh, totally agree. No, that's amazing. Now let's talk about a bit about marketing, entrepreneurship, and AI. For example, you have this great voice. I already said that, but everyone who is watching us, who is hearing us, is going to realize that very easily. But and also you have this amazing website that we will share also with our audience. Can you tell us a bit about more about your business, what services do you offer?
Right. So, as I said, I worked in radio. So I started off Jamie Buck voiceovers. That was the first incarnation of my umbrella company, Buck Media Works. So I had that since 2006 and started my side hustle and built up voiceover clients and whatnot. I guess it was about 2016 that I realized that digital marketing is a big player. I was doing all this radio advertising for clients, and I said, you really want to look at the online space, right? Because that's when the clicks replaced the bricks, right? So online became more important. Amazon was huge, obviously. A lot of the retailers, the big box stores going out of business. Malls are shutting down, right? Everything is online. So people search for local businesses online. So I wanted to help out the local businesses. So that's kind of what I do. And then from the digital marketing came what's called a SaaS, software as a service. And I have two softwares out as well. So it's all tied into growing your business. That is the main thing, whether you do that in an audio fashion, a video fashion with a video bubble that I have, Click Bubble, or an all-in-one CRM, which is BizHERO.ai. That's pretty much the engine that runs everything in all of my businesses. Even though there are multiple businesses, they're run pretty seamlessly because fortune is in the follow-up, right? When you meet a contact, you need to be able to keep up with them. You need to reach out to them in various ways. Take 6 or 7 touches for them to, okay, I understand what he's doing now. That's the social media mix, right? That's maybe paid ads. That's maybe SEO. So it's a lot of that just kind of surrounds your whole company, and a lot of that can work in the background with AI automatically. And that's the cool thing about it.
For example, related to AI, because I am working with some projects related to AI. I'm a Microsoft Azure certified engineer. AI engineer, and but I don't know much about marketing. And one of the things, one of the issues that we founders, technical founders, face related to entrepreneurship, it is that we are not the best at marketing. We are not the best at business. We love technology. We love to realize and to test what technology can do, but we are not the best at marketing. But now what we are witnessing it is that there are these so many tools kind of to automate all your process of leads and then to convert them into actual customers. But where do you see that the magic actually happens when you integrate marketing and AI? What does work? What does not work? And where are the greatest opportunities and value?
Yeah, so I always ask a business, how are you using AI and automation to leverage those technologies in your business right now? And most businesses know that it's out there, but they don't really know how to tap into it. They'll hear of Chat GPT. Oh, what exactly does that do? Or maybe they'll actually be utilizing that for copywriting, in various different aspects and promos and advertising and whatnot. But AI is such a huge gamut and it's growing by leaps and bounds, as you know. It's been around for quite some time, but really just in the past year, it's really kind of upticked. It's on the news. There's evil behind it in certain circumstances. The spammers are taking it to a whole new level, but then there's also the positivity of it's curing cancer. And then marketing is just one aspect, but I think it's going to touch every single industry. And those that don't really embrace it and understand it and at least say, okay, let me see what this can do, those are the ones, unfortunately, they're going to be phased out. I don't think AI is going to replace humans, but I think those not using AI, implementing it, for positive, are the ones that may be left behind. So in marketing, there's a whole lot that can be done, from writing to email marketing automation to text follow-up to building out campaigns. We have an all-in-one inbox that brings in everything from all your social media, your texts, your emails, Google Business Profile into one inbox, and you can control everything there, right? So we want to consolidate everything. So it's pretty much you log in, you've got one thing. Instead, most businesses are duct taping all these different technologies, that don't really work together to make it work. So what we wanted to do was bring all that stuff together and add that AI component to it. For example, I've got a product called ClickBubble, which is a video widget on your website, but it also has an AI aspect to it. So it's me saying, "Hey, how you doing? Welcome. Click down below to get started," whatever your call to action is. But what also can happen is there can be something like I call it the click bot, right? So you can ask it anything about ClickBubble. You can feed that information and it'll automatically, retrieve that information and say, this is exactly, within 1 second, this is how you do that. This is how you do that. So it's just about helping people, adding value. And quite frankly, AI is closing deals, right? So the AI clone, I have a friend who bought a Tesla a couple weeks ago from not a real person, but a voice clone.
Oh,
And that's a
wow.
pretty big purchase, right? So
Yes.
as you can see, it's only going to get better as time goes on.
No, because I've been testing some copilots or some AI-based assistants, and the great thing about that it is that you can train them with the information you want, whatever kind of information. If you are a stockbroker, if you are a physician, if you are a lawyer, whatever, but you have your information. You need to have your well-structured information, actually, but not that well-structured, but some kind of structure with your information, and then you train them and then you can add even voice to that AI based assistant. So you can train your own voice and make that thing answer the way you answer with your own voice, which sounds crazy. And but yes, you can be having a conversation with something that may not be a human. And yes, but I didn't know that there was this kind of example where actually someone interacted with the AI-based assistant or with a copilot and close the deal. That is amazing. That is amazing to hear. And another thing related also to marketing, which are like kind of the main things that you recommend in all the process of marketing, where is the most value that can be leveraged by using AI?
I think it's time. I mean, I think you're going to save a lot of time, generally speaking, by utilizing AI in some capacity. As I said, if you have a sales team of 50 people, you're not going to have to, really pay that many people anymore. You've got a person who's available who's not really, we'll call an AI person. You've got the AI and the RI, so like the real individual and the artificial individual or artificial intelligence, where they can work 24/7, take no vacations, no time off, no sick days, right? So that's leveraging time. It's going to be able to save you money, obviously, in the long run. Now, we don't want to completely replace humans, but we can certainly utilize technology to be, better focused on that and to have a better outcome, because humans will make errors, of course. If you train the AI properly, it's pretty flawless. So, I mean, the world is your oyster, and with just tapping into some of those technologies that are available now, and it's gone from text to audio to video. You're not going to be able to tell in a couple months whether or not that video is an actual real thing that's being said, and it's already been done before, from the president to famous actors, etc. And so it can get a little scary for sure. And
Yes.
that's something that all the AI companies got together and said, listen, we have to control this thing, because it is going to get out of control. So it's just been, the technology has been changing so fast, and it's only a matter of time before the thing can, get absolutely out of control. So it needs to be controlled to a certain extent and maintained.
No, totally. And the on the other side of this same question, it is that there has to be some kind of please don't do this related to AI and marketing. And on my side, as a customer, for example, sometimes I really need to talk to a human. And if
Yeah.
someone tries to force me to interact with a digital assistant, I don't want to. So for me, that is kind of a red flag related to when do not use necessarily an AI. But what can you share with us about the please don't do this related to marketing, on which use cases or which specific scenarios?
Yeah, I think, with marketing, since it changes so quickly, you have to kind of test things out and see if it's going to work for yourself. I mean, marketing is all about tweaking, right? Trying stuff out. When we do Facebook ads, we do an A/B test, right? So we test this version. Is this version going to work well with the audience, or is this version going to work well? Now, AI can actually come in and pick that winner because of the analytics behind it, and it's the person is not actually involved. The AI is actually taking over, right? But that's not always the best thing, because sometimes you actually need to go in there, take a step back and say, okay, this may be working best, but is it really getting the result that we want, right? So use the AI to a certain extent, but also bring that human factor in there just to kind of double check on it and to make sure everything's running. It's not a set and forget kind of thing, right? So I would definitely say don't set it and forget it and just let the AI do its thing. Monitor it, look at it. Yes, it's going to save you time. It's going to save you energy in the long run. And it's probably going to do a pretty good job. But if it goes off the rails a little bit, you got to bring it back. So it's true just with technology, as the time progresses and as that AI gets better, I don't think you're going to be having those issues with, hey, I don't want to speak with AI, because you're not even going to know that it's AI. It's going to be so good. It just isn't at that point yet. And I totally agree with you 100%, Paulo. I don't want to talk to a digital assistant, or someone that sounds very robotic, or it just is like this tree of going from here to here to here to here. And the
Yeah.
customer service is just horrendous. And whether or not it's going to a real person or not, you're being handed off to someone else. And then you got to repeat your entire story because you weren't in the right department. And then you're wasting all this time. Before you know it, you're talking to the cable company for an hour and a half to 2 hours to try to solve something that shouldn't be that complicated. And they all want you to send a text and do it via text, because they don't want to have the conversation either. But if you have an AI voice that's going to calmly take you through the situation and react to what you're saying and go here or here or here based on logic, that's going to be, really the game changer.
No, totally agree. Because one of the things I'm realizing right now it is that many people are trying to use AI almost for everything, and I say, well, no, it is not for every use case. It is not for everyone. It is not just kind of a general recommendation, kind of just use it. No, you need to know exactly what for. it is going to be used, and what is the actual value that is going to provide to your business logic, your business processes, the value chain or the whole value chain. What is the most value for using this technology? Great, great, great. And another thing related to this and integrating your whole experience as a marketing and your healthy lifestyle, what is one of the biggest challenges that you have overcome that have made you grow both personally and professionally, kind of integrating both parts?
Well, if this show is for startups, I'm sure a lot of people prior to going into their startup had a full-time job, right? They had a W-2, as we call it, in the US. And so I worked a long time as an employee, but always had that entrepreneurial spirit, right? I always knew there was something there, and I had fear of taking that jump and just going and doing my own thing and doing my voiceover business full time, right? Because I had that cushion. I was too comfortable, and I suggest that people get uncomfortable. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations, right? If you have a fear of speaking in front of a crowd, start with a small crowd, start with an online crowd, then get out and talk to 6 or 7 people in a small group, then talk to 100 people, then do, a webinar and have a large audience there. If you get out of your comfort zone, that will push the boundary and you will be able to, as we mentioned before, get back to success. I think that success is overcoming your fear. My wife jumped out of a plane when we were in Dubai, right? And I didn't wanna do it. Well, I really wanted to do it, but I didn't do it. And I kicked myself for not doing that, right? And that's the personal challenge, and I think about it every day. I said, "We're gonna go back there, and I'm gonna do it," you know? And you can't overthink it, and I overthought it, right? Now, I've always had a fear of heights my entire life, but when I got into skiing, I was finally on the lift, and I made it up there. I was like this the whole time, but I finally made it up, and then after a couple times, it wasn't a big deal. I got over it, and now I like heights for the most part, but jumping out of a plane was just, like, on a different level. But I have no problem, like, flying. I've flown all my life, so it's the more you do anything, the better you'll get at it, and you won't worry about it, right? And then sometimes you just gotta say, excuse my French, but who gives an F? Just do it, just give it a shot. What's the worst that's gonna happen? We build up this fear, this false evidence appearing real, and you hear it all the time. Just give it a shot. So the one thing I really am not proud of is not making that jump after she did. She said she would go first and then I would go, and I just that sticks in my mind. The one thing I am proud of is leaving my full time job, just saying no, I'm done. They wanted to invite me back, and after COVID and being remote for 2 years, and I said no. I appreciate it. I've been here a long time, but it's time for me to go do my own thing. So that was just COVID was really the push that I needed, I may still be there today if it wasn't for COVID. Hopefully not, because I was thinking about that for many years, ramping up to that. But, when you have an opportunity, seize it, take it. If it appears that it's a negative or a bad thing, you can turn that into a positive thing. I always think that can be the case. It's all your mindset and how you look at things.
No, totally. And also be patient because one thing it is to make the big step, sometimes the second, but then in the third, in the fourth, there are some big challenges. And so many entrepreneurs or founders, they kind of feel bad because things are not going the way they thought they were going to be. So they
It's
say,
it's
well,
never
no.
It's never gonna go your way, 100%. We think it's gonna take, "Oh, this'll take a month." It's gonna take 3 months. It's always gonna be longer. It's always gonna be more involved. Challenges are gonna come up, but that's life, right? And you just have to deal with those as they come. And I think that's the real, ambiance of an entrepreneur saying, "No, instead of working 40 hours a week for this pay, I'm gonna work 80 hours a week for this pay just because I'm so passionate about this project, and I know I can make something and have a real value that I wanna push out there into the world, you know?
Oh,
That's
totally. Totally,
such a
totally.
passion that people have. Yeah.
No, totally. And also, that is another of the objectives of having these kind of dialogues, because sometimes people just need to know more people that are kind of realizing their own purposes. They are different lifestyles. They are overcoming big challenges, and they are out there. We just need to find them and to talk to them and to say, hey, there are many, many of us who are trying to build our own lifestyle because we are living in a time where the possibilities for designing our own lifestyle it is as never have been before in history. So we are kind of privileged of having these kind of opportunities. But also, in another way of seeing this, the other part, I asked you about some big challenge, but also we've also had big successes. We've been also successful. What is one of the greatest outcomes you have achieved that make you feel yes proud but humble at the same time? Because sometimes we have that imposter syndrome when we don't want to realize also the big things we have achieved. But one big thing that you have achieved, Jamie.
I think generally speaking, it's results for clients, right? When they don't know you, maybe, and you're starting out, and you don't really have a track record, and you say, "Oh, like, I tell you what, I'm going to give you a 14-day free trial of this. Let's try it out. Let's see if we can get you some customers." And then that happens during that trial, and they're like, "Wow, this really works. Okay, let's give it another 30 days. I'm game. Let's get in." And you offer them, "Hey, instead of paying for 12 months." If you pay up front, you get 2 months free, right? And they're not ready to jump into that deal because it's like they want proof first. And if you can prove to them and then say, "Yeah, that was a one-time deal, but I can give you a month free." Okay, yeah, let's do that. So I think it's just, allowing yourself to get into the moment, offering value up front. I always say, bring the value first, right? Show them different things they can do for free. You're not asking for anything, you're just helping them out, and also build up your social media presence, always helping everyone. I need to do more of that, doing little, lunch and learns and doing things on social where you're just explaining, hey, this is something that you can do that's working right now. And just get that out there, right? Get it out into the ether and help people. And eventually, the more they see you doing that, you're building up that know, like, and trust factor. Then they're going to say, okay, let's give it a shot, right? And whether it's a free trial or they just jump right in, whatever the case may be, as you build your clients, you can lessen that free trial time and start building up case studies. And so when I got my first case study, I was like, here is some proof. Look at and like, wow, it's pretty impressive. So yeah, that's the whole ramp up of an entrepreneur, right? Your beginning portion of a client getting and services is not going to be the same even 5 clients later, because you're already established and you continue to do that, and then you can grow. And I always say, raise your prices as you grow as well, because you're worth more now, right? In the beginning, you're just starting out. Yeah, offer a free trial, show them that proof. But as you grow, and that's what I've done over the years, both in my voiceover business and then now in the software business, and it's very rewarding because I just like seeing people have success in their business and grow. And during COVID, it was a rough time. A lot of businesses went out of business, right? So we try to do things, with the restaurants and whatnot, and set up different, apps where people could order online and pick up, outside, and just, constantly reinvent things that would work in that particular time frame. So it's yeah, I mean, I just think that businesses out there that are struggling, keep at it, try different things, see if you can really resonate with that audience, and always try to see if you can have a cause. Like, what's the end game? Like, 5% or 10% is going to this charity, or this is my mission, this is my purpose.
No, totally agree. And also, you come with something very important, which is your passion for your customer and for adding value to your customer. Like it is not my success; it is my passion for the customer, my passion for trying to build value to my customer. That it is going to help me building my own success. And I love the way you you explain that. But right now, one of the things I don't like with some kind of this growth specialist that you find many you receive many messages on LinkedIn and other social media. It is related to they are not really trying to know you. They are not trying to get to know who you are, what do you want, and to add value to you as as a potential customer. They just want to put you in their sales formula, in their sales process, and then they want to get you talk to them like you have 15 minutes only to qualify you as a lead, but as a potential customer, and that's it. And no, when you have a real passion for your customer, you really want to talk to them. You really want to listen to them, because if you don't listen to them, you are not going to know how to add value to them, right?
100%. I mean, it's absolutely, you hit the nail on the head, Apollo, really, because no one wants to get spammed. No, everyone realizes right away when you're sending them a message, "Oh, I'm being pitched. This is a sales message," boom, delete. They're not interested. But if you can, like, one thing that works well, I'll give you a little tip on this that's I've been trying out is Loom videos, right? And just doing like a 90-second Loom and saying, "Hey, just so you know, your Google business site, Google's taking down all of their business sites, and so it's basically going to go away, and it already has, and it's going to be transferred over to your Google business profile, but then you're not going to have a website. So I just wanted to let you know that, and there are some options out there. And if I can help in any way, whether it's me or someone else, just to let you know, right? So it's a value proposition first. You're basically just throwing value out there. And I hate to keep saying that, but it's so true because you're just looking to help people. And if you can do 10, 15, 20 of those a day, just with the mindset within that 1 hour of recording these, just looking at businesses, seeing what they need, and then just throwing that out. At least that starts the conversation, right? But you are correct, 100% correct. You've got to have that 10 or 15-minute meeting and say, hey, what's the real pain point in your business? What's the problem you're, facing right now? And then from there, if you have a service that can help them with that, great. If not, you refer them to your network, to your friends who do and can help them out.
No, totally, totally agree. And another thing related to entrepreneurs and founders, it is that we don't see ourselves as a personal brand because we say, okay, I'm founding this startup and I want to produce these services or to create these products, but we don't see ourselves as a branding. So what advice or recommendations would you give for someone who is starting an aspiring entrepreneur to work with their personal branding?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I know, we all know people wanna work with people, right? They don't wanna work with companies. So your personal branding is really important. Both everything, your mission statement, your values, your family life, everything involved in your life as a person, all your personal experiences through all the years that you've been here, that you've built up that whole bank, that makes you you, and you are genuinely you. You are unique. You're not like anyone else. So bring that to the table. What's your personality? I mean, are you comical? Do you have humor that you want to throw in there? Are you a little more laid back? Don't try to be something else. Just be you, and then you'll resonate with the right person and find the right client or customer if that's what you're looking for, that is the same way and really gets you. You can never be everything to everyone. It's not going to work, right? You should have a subset of people that you go after. Like in marketing, we say you should niche down, right? The riches are in the niches. So, who are you going to be working with, right? Who is your client avatar? And I think that it's important to, kind of just expose yourself. This is the day and age of just picking up the phone, right, and doing a video like this, not getting all made up or anything like that. Women love to put on all this, makeup. The raw videos out there that are not 100% produced up do the best because it's raw, it's real, it's in the moment, right? And you don't have to plan for it. Just go ahead and pick up your phone and talk about what's on your mind. Just do a 60-second quick TikTok or Instagram video or a YouTube short, whatever the case may be. And, that's how you start off. Then eventually you can add some, captions and some graphics and have an actual video producer help you out with that. But I think the raw stuff really works great. So build that personal brand, help people out, whatever your industry is, talk about that, talk about what is hot right now, what is happening, the good stuff that's going on, the bad stuff that's going on, and not so much about yourself or your product, just generally speaking. That should be about, a third or less. Like every seventh video, you can say, hey, I got this special offer going on. But it's more, once again, about who you are as a person, your family, what you're into outside of work. And then, of course, it's going to be a lot of the work. So maybe 60 to 70% of the work, but also add a little extra stuff in there like, hey, we're just hanging out at the park this weekend. People love to see that you're a real person and they will connect with that.
Yes, dare to be real, dare to be honest people, because
Yeah,
also the world need more real and honest people, right?
yeah,
No, totally,
absolutely.
totally agree, totally agree. And going to the last part, because one of the things I don't really like that much when I have these amazing dialogues, it is that time flies.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're just on time for this. And going to the last part, are you optimistic about the future in general, not only your future, but the future? Because it seems sometimes that humanity is facing many problems, many big issues. Maybe we will not survive as a species. I don't know. But are you optimistic about the future? Is there anything that worries you about the future?
There are concerns, of course, but I'm generally an optimist. I like to remain positive because I want to go through life, with a positive impact and also a positive embrace. I like to be around positive people. I'm not one that likes tension, or likes to combat. I was never very good in kind of the battle back and forth, debates and that kind of stuff. I'll stand up for myself, but I'm generally a pretty humble person and just, want friendliness around and warmness. But also you need to be street smart, right? And you need to watch your back. You need to be careful. There's a lot of stuff going on. And even with AI, if someone calls up saying, you know, they've gotten the voice of your daughter and it's your daughter, you've got to prepare for that kind of stuff. Right. You got to have a code word or something, some kind of system that's in place. And I'm all about systems and processes and whatnot. And I think that, the more your life is structured like that and you have backup plans, like you had a backup plan for this in case, this particular video went out, or, my Wi-Fi here in Cayman Islands goes out every once in a while. I'm in the middle of doing something and that's just the nature of it, right? But I do have a backup for that. I can jump to my cell. So I think generally speaking, I am optimistic about the future. I'm excited about it. I love technology and embracing it. But at the same time, I'm still an analog guy living in a digital world, meaning I still want to go out. I want to swim in the ocean, right? I want to paddle board. I want to hold hands with my wife. That's all like analog stuff, right? It's not digital. So a good mixture of that, not being only AI driven, I think is very important, right? The humanity aspect of it, as you said earlier, being a real person and communicating with people and building relationships. That's not AI, that's real love, real stuff going on in day-to-day lives.
No, totally. It is a time to remember what it is to be human and what it is to be in real connection with other humans. Because we are living in this time when we have this strange combination or dichotomy where we are the most ever people living on Earth, sorry, on Earth. And then we have the most available, the best technology available ever. And then we live in isolation. We live in our computers and in our phones. And that is why another thing I wanted to have this dialogue with you because we both share this kind of, we live in an actual human community or a community of real humans. We live in these places where we can go out and say hi to people. We have real friends, we have our wives, we have our families. And at the same time, we work with AI, we have our customers, we have our goals, but it is amazing to have this mix and to live a full life and this healthy life. Don't you think?
100%. And I challenge everyone, if you can do this for a weekend, I haven't done this in quite some time, but if you can unplug this deal, right? Go camping for a weekend, be out in nature and not talk to anyone via this, just be with your family or your friends. You'll really appreciate when Monday comes and you're like, wow, that was really a special weekend.
No, totally, totally agree. Totally agree. And finally, Jamie, is there any idea or message additional to this that you have just shared with us that you'd like to share with the world? Big idea.
I think everyone has something special, right, about them and a gift that they want to give to the world. And I think it's about tapping into what yours is, right? How can you help out other people in what way? What do you bring to the table? Everyone is so special and everyone has something that is there. Some of them, they've released that, right? They've given that into the world. If you've been thinking about a project or something you're passionate about, go for it, do it, give it a shot. You don't want to look back and say, what if? You always hear about that, right? You're there and you're like, if I only did this or I only did that, just give it a shot. Life is so great. It's so full of opportunity. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, there's a lot of dark, destructive stuff that goes on as well. But if you can, really be focused and maintain how you can help the world and leave the world a better place than you came into it, right? Because we don't want the world for our kids and the next generations to be destroyed by all the stuff we're doing, right? We're the ones right now that really need to make sure this place is not going to like just fall into oblivion, right? So, I mean, that would be my message. Just who can you help? Find out who that is. Talk to people, build your network, go through relationships and whatnot. You can use technology for that. Like this, I have on my phone right here, right? It's just a QR code. People scan it, they get a little video that pops up and they can connect with me. It's cool to have that kind of stuff. But when you really sit down with someone, like I'd love to come visit you in person. You tell me about Mexico, your town, your community. It sounds so cool. So we do travel from place to place. We can't get everywhere, obviously. No one can, right? We don't but anytime, we're in the area, I always look up, oh, who do I know in this area? And I meet them in person and say, oh, it's so cool to finally meet you one on one in person. We've had this virtual relationship for so long, but meeting in person is like nothing beats it.
Totally, totally, absolutely agree, Jamie. It's been amazing talking to you, and for everyone who has been watching us or hearing this episode. Please remember passion for your customer. You have something special to give to the world. Look for that things that you can do to add value to others. And then put yourself to work and then be patient and great outcomes are going to come, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thanks so much, Paolo. I really appreciate it. You've got a great podcast here. And thanks so much for serving people.
Thank you, Jamie. Bye.